How's everyone doing? My name is Peter Valjeavendesschapper. I'm gonna bring you guys a little last minute stream. We are live, all right. So yeah, been a while since I continued the Bankroll challenge, so we're gonna do about an hour today, so not too long, just a short one. We're gonna jump into some 5NL on Win Today. If I can find a table, I can join. Let's have a look here. Do we have any tables to join? Go. Jump into one table. We're gonna have two tables here. Is this okay? Does this look good? This should be under. Guess this looks okay-ish. So yeah, just gonna jump in some tables, tag some people, see what happens. I forgot to open my hand to note. Obviously, as always, well prepared. Suppose you guys can hear, yeah, you can hear the stable sounds, so that's good. Open the second table. I'll probably open like a few more, but I'm mainly gonna be switching between these at the moment. So yeah, it's not gonna be the greatest stream, but I just wanted to see if this layout kind of works. The chat is a little bit different, as you can see. I think it should be better. Let's hope it's around good hat. Are you doing OG? Wait, why don't I see you in my Twitch chat? There you are. Okay. I see you on my OBS before I see you on Twitch chat for some reason. There might be a delay actually. That might be why. Not sure. All right, let's open like 4 tables, I guess. Be focusing on 2 tables max though. Yeah, trying to figure out a little bit how to do this better. Let's put these here. Okay. And the note working. Music's working. Stream's working. Looks good. So already here with 5-4, I'm gonna look for reasons to open. Now this guy seems to be an aggressive 3-better, which is gonna make me fold this hand. This would be standard fold. But I'm always trying to look for reasons. Hey, can I open a hand a bit wider than usual? Then yeah, when we have a hand that's standard open, we don't think too much, we just open it. Jack 10. Fold. Let me know if the layout looks good. The overlay, whatever you want to call it. I think it looks a little bit better than before. For the people that remember. I can put on the old overlay, but yeah. I had 2 designs. Let me actually show the other one. Like, we got this design, and then we have... Where is it? This design. It's like white borders or black borders. I don't mind the white borders either. I think I like the black more, but the white is growing on me. I hope I'm not sounding racist or anything. I think the black is a little bit better. I'm not sure what you think, chat. We can do 1 black, 1 white, maybe. No. Would be fine. Move my George in a bit. Now let's see if we can have any interesting hands in the next hour. Like here, even here, with 2-3 suited, 3 suited, I guess I should say. But actually, a 3 deuce offsuit. I would even look for reasons to open a hand this wide. Here, recreational 6-5 suited, kind of close against 2.2. I guess I don't mind seeing a flop, especially when I'm streaming. But generally, you're just gonna fold this hand pre-flop, and on this flop, we don't have much going on, so we just fold. Both good, okay. Good to hear. Well, I may actually, like, I'm not sure. Yeah, I would have to change some things in my scenes to do that. I may actually do this for a while and then switch to the white ones and you can say what you prefer. I know most people don't really care that already watch the stream and yeah, like feel like once you like the content of a stream, you're not gonna care that much about the layout. Like if it's just me with a webcam and then just a table and that's it, I think people, if they like the content, don't give a fuck. But it's more about like what do new people want to see? What do people that are just falling? What are people that never seen the stream? What do they like to see? Right? Because that's how you kind of get people interested in your channel. Like they see something that looks good and they're like, who's this guy? Who's this guy? That's it. We got the same guy twice. Guess with 5-4 here I'm checking, but it could also raise. Now he limp calls and then donk spot. Interesting. I'm gonna just call just in case he's a maniac, but I guess he just had nothing on the flop. I don't mind going for a small bet here in general. But I do think with like my stronger hands, like he's still gonna have like 10-9 type of hands that are never folding. So I would start splitting my range here between like bigger sizings with my value hands and then smaller sizings with bluffs and like more thin value type of hands. I don't think he has many flushes here. We could maybe induce him sometimes to turn some like 10-9s, 9-8s type of hands into a bluff. I think this is the right opponent to do this versus. I think he's gonna have a lot of like one pair type of hands that he can potentially turn into a bluff or call with him. And I think a bigger sizing isn't gonna do much. A6, okay. So it was a little bit stronger than I thought he would be there. So it looks like it was more a fear-driven bet. So we probably could have gone a little bit bigger on the river against him specifically, but without any information. Even though we have 100 hands on him and we have him tagged, I don't know much about him. I don't really have any notes. Yeah, I just assumed he would have been more like bluff heavy on the flop and then a bit more merged once he starts checking. Hey Andy, thank you very much, my friend. I'm obviously very happy that it's my affiliate anniversary. It's a day I've been looking for so long. I just hate to stream with flashing borders and crazy shit. Yeah, when it's like too much, like I agree. Like when it's just like the background is distracting you more. I like the simple but still good looking stuff, which is something you need a good designer for usually, which I am not, and which I'm too cheap to get. Right. So we got limp pot, bets flop, bets turn. We just call. Not much else to do here. And then on the river he checks, and I don't think there's much value to be had. I don't think we can really turn this hand into bluff against him, so we check and then sometimes win. This time we lose, which is fine. Yeah, it's more than the WSOP bracelet in my opinion. Like, how long have I been streaming? Like, how long have I been an affiliate? He don't spot again. Like last time we saw this was top pair heavy. So we're not super thrilled. But we're obviously not folding. Here we're check raising flop. So we open pre-flop, he called. Now he goes for a big bet on the flop. I'm check raising. Not my favorite turn, not the worst turn either. I think we just check. Should be better for him, but I'm not really planning on folding much. Here now he checked, we check behind. See what he does. I'm gonna be very suspicious if he bets here. So we now split with an ace. I don't think he has many 10x. I think in the spot he has many missed draws. Do we go like 10% or check here? I don't think he's gonna bluff often enough, but he has the orange stack, which means he's a bit more bluff heavy, so let's at least hope he, like he has jack 8, he's not bluffing with that. If that's the case, if he's just not willing to bluff, which I think is the case on a board like that, we probably should try to squeeze up some value from like a king high type of hand or something, but yeah, it's gonna be very tough to get people to put money on the river there. But today's best site for PokerStars pool like 2007. Yeah, I'm definitely having fun on this site since jumping over here. I started playing here because I kind of had to, because it's technically the only legal site in Austria. But I kind of don't mind it. It's very soft. It's 3% rake. Not bad. Oh yeah, so it's ring fence. This is Austria and Finland, I think, if I remember correctly. A pretty good site. Well, yeah. Having people open jam, 25 big blinds. You love to see it. Gonna be 3-betting for value. Because he has a shorter stack, I'm not gonna go too big. But I'm still gonna be a little bit greedy at least. We get jammed on, which I'm not super happy about. We need 40%, which without information is actually close. Quite close. I guess I'm gonna call, but if you fold here, I think it's fine. That's queen, so yeah, not a great spot. So yeah, for now you can play on GG Poker and 888 Poker. Lots of Austrians do, but technically they're not allowed to. So from obviously I had to read up on it a little bit when I joined or when I moved to Austria. And basically the way it is at the moment the government doesn't really care that people play on GG Poker, 888 Poker, PokerStars, other sites. But they might care in the future. They might one day say like, hey, these profits you're making from this site, that's not really legal. Maybe we're not gonna allow you to keep those. I don't know. I don't think it's gonna go that far. It's probably gonna be more like maybe one day they're just gonna restrict access to those sites or start fining those sites. So for now, it's a bit of a gray zone, as far as I know, a very gray zone, and yeah, is what it is. Right, so lost 40 big blinds there with the ace queen. Not good for the bankroll, obviously. It is what it is. I'm not folding during a no delay stream. If you're trying to bluff me today, today is not your day. We open 2x because I don't know why. Because we just do. I would generally just, like on these stakes, just go 2.5. And then exploitively, you can min raise from the bottom quite wide if you wanna. Second pair, and we're like 7 ways, 8 ways, whatever this is. So in theory, this is a fold, and this guy looks on the nittier side, so I'm actually just folding. I have a note, net, super net, don't call. So I'm gonna follow my note. When my note says he's a super net, I'm gonna fold. Chat actually needs to be fixed a little bit, I just saw. Let me try to fix this while we're playing. Where is it? When are you gonna come to the dark side and go crypto? Well, I think a year ago or something, the guys from Coin Poker contacted me. I don't know, man. I'm not gonna get into crypto anytime soon. As far, yeah, I might be completely wrong. Maybe I should have jumped the ship a long time ago, but I'm happy doing legal stuff, you know? Especially when you're a professional player. Well, because I'm a professional player. It still sounds weird when I say it out loud. Yeah, I kind of wanna, like, I wanna pay my taxes, even though I pay 0% taxes in Austria. I wanna do legal stuff. I don't wanna fuck myself, right? And especially when I have a soft site like this, like, why would I need another site? The biggest issue is obviously, do I ever want to keep this guy in? I don't. I don't think it's that feasible to try to get this guy in. And at the same time, if this guy has a 3 or a 5 or a pair, he's probably still not folding. Not my favorite turn. I'm still gonna be stacking off here. Maybe we check the turn though. No, I don't hate checking turn and then just calling river. I am not folding here if he jams, and when he checks, I am always jamming here. We're getting value from something like 7-6, Ace-6. That gets sticky. 4-3, 3 deuce. What does he call it? King-6. Ah, that's close enough to 7-6, I would say. Close enough to 7-6. All right, let's fix the chat a little bit. I'm bad at doing things while streaming. This is not. Alright, I really fucked up my chat, so I'm fucking it up even more actually. Okay, how does this look? I guess we'll see in a sec. Oh, it's worse. A little bit there. I guess something like this will probably be good. Okay, what did I miss in chat? Thing rail seems like fairies do not make sides, to be honest. Yeah, I know. Fish really play on coin poker. I mean, to deposit via crypto is not common way. I would assume there's just some huge whales on there, which is always nice, right? Yeah, I'm always surprised, like, new sites popping up where I'm usually wondering, like, do recreationals actually find their way to this site? And usually they do, so I don't know. People want to gamble, they're gonna gamble, right? Oh yeah, I forgot. More TBC is working for Coin Poker. I forgot. Everybody definitely joined Coin Poker. Best site out there, obviously. Been told the games are very good because it's not poker players depositing via crypto, it's crypto people trying to play poker. That makes sense. I don't know. If... Like, just think how stupid the average poker player is, me included, and then think how likely is it they're gonna figure out how to put crypto on a crypto poker site. Just saying. Okay, I think we fixed chat. This looks a little bit better than before. Needs to fix it just a little tiny bit. This should be fixed now. Yeah, obviously today, as I mentioned, I wanted to try the new layout a little bit, see how it works. I think this is gonna be better. Alright, so after that big pot with the sets, I think we're about break even this session. And we can actually know because we can check our graph. Yes, we're up €1. Yes. You can deposit via fiat. Wait, you can deposit via a car? What? How does that work, Andy? Like you get in your car, you put like $1 bill in the car, and then you can play on coin poker? Is that how it works, or? I think the stream just turned into an ad. Oh fuck. You need to get the Halloween spirit back. Jesus. This is fucking up my hair. I don't know if I can fuck it up more though, so I guess we're good. Alright. I'm just imagining you guys are hearing all these table sounds that I'm not hearing. And you guys are like, what's happening? Alright, ace-10, out of position, single raise spot. I'm gonna start with a check on basically any board. On this ace, I think we want to go big bet or check. Against this guy. Oh, we should still big bet this hand. I'm gonna pot it. The reason I do this is because I think he's gonna have a lot of ace-x himself, and then lots of hands that fold anyway. So I think it makes sense to build a strategy where we're kind of trying to get value from an ace. And when we're doing that, we want to go huge, obviously. So I would check my weakest ace-x for sure there. But yeah. Okay, I'll send my car. Easy. Alright, let's see a flop with the sixes. Against a small sizing, I really want to continue, but I think I want to have a heart to do that. Let me see. There are... yeah. Against some opponents, I would generally call any pair, even on this board. I think it's a very good strategy in position when you think your opponent 3-bets quite heavily and then maybe c-bets a lot and then gives up a lot on the turn. This guy though seemed like he doesn't give up too many turns, and if that's the case, I prefer to have a heart to have a little bit more playability. It's also a bit, we have a little bit more clean outs, right? Like when the 6 of hearts comes on the turn and we have a set, he can now have flushes, which is not great for us, obviously. So yeah. Right. Gonna open pretty wide here. I think this is a good spot. And then here with our flush draw, we're gonna go for a check raise, probably. Oh, this is limp pot. Nah, we still check raise or check call. Depending on the sizing. Like against this half pot. Oh no, about this guy. I think it's just a spot where he's just gonna fold so much. This guy is not gonna have many hands. And then when I say that, this guy actually calls. So now I'm confused. Like this guy limps, checks the flop, and then calls versus a bet raise. I'm a little bit worried. Oh, fuck. Weird hand. I think I'm just gonna use a sizing where he folds like ace-high flush draws, king-high flush draws. So I'm just gonna bet small. And like any pair he call anyway. Like, I don't think this guy would fold 7-4 versus a big sizing even. Yeah, on the turn, I think it's close. We now know he's more stationary, so I'm gonna make a note on that. But I was definitely confused with his line where he calls the flop after open limping and then checking flop and then calling a raise. Don't think it's the greatest spot to go too crazy anymore. We still had the flush draw, so it's still an okay spot to barrel, I would say. But I don't mind how I play it there. Battling heads up here versus a regular. Well, he got the best of us. I don't like heads up anyway, so friends. All right, somehow we're in a multi-way spot, 3 ways with checks. And we get donked into pot and then call, and I guess we just fold, and let's see what develops. This is gonna be like tens and then like king 9 suited. I'm gonna be like, fuck. 9-8, king 3, okay, so good. He actually found the fault, this guy. Pocket aces, love to see it. Especially because this guy is not gonna be folding much pre-flop. That's a pretty nice flop. I don't think he folds much flop. Even though we look at the snap call. Okay, so when he snap calls, he's gonna have some flushes, some ace-x, but not that many ace-x. I think against this guy, I just want to triple barrel, get all the money in. If he has a flush, he has a flush. I think he still calls with 5s, 3s on the flop, ace-x. Some offsuit hands with a heart. And I don't expect this guy to do the heavy lifting. I don't expect this guy to put money in. We should, in general, be kind of careful on the hard turn. But against this guy, I just want to put money in. So these are the spots I'm a bit torn. Because I really don't like heads up. But this guy is obviously a whale. So maybe we should just take the spot. Here I'm opening a bit wide. Same reason as before, I think. We can get away with it, but when we get called and called, it's like, okay, well, now we can't do too much. If I had 10 deuce with a backdoor flush draw, I would bet here. Without, I think it's a little bit too weak. A little bit too weak multi-way. Heads up, I would still bet. Tables are constantly closing. Do people know who I am? What's happening? Alright, we face a half pot bet and a call, and I'm kinda interested in raising here because I'm thinking if somebody has like 2 pair or better, they bet bigger, no? I'm like, okay. And we're gonna double barrel this. Not super thrilled when it's multi-way and we raise the turn and they both call, but I am not giving up on this run out. I'm saying, hey, I got 2 pair. Good luck, everyone out there. Good luck calling with your 1 pair type of hands. Sometimes you get called by like ace of hearts type of hand, but that's the way it is. Take it down, nice. Here, well, good luck, sir. Fold. So this guy 3-bet, we 4-bet ace queen offsuit, he calls, has 12 big blinds behind, and he's like, well, not on this board. Not on this board. Any board, but not this board. Alright, going well today. Trying to make some money for that bankroll. See it when things are kind of working out. Meantime, this guy got it in with king 10 against king queen. Unlucky, mate. So yeah, gonna be streaming for like 20 more minutes. Again, pretty short stream today, but just felt like jumping in there. Multi-way with the king jack. Pretty close between bet and check, I would say. I think it's a fine hand to bet and double or triple barrel quite a bit. This is obviously a board we want to barrel on. Kind of sucks that we sometimes get jammed on. And that's fine. I'm gonna just put max pressure on his 8s, 9s, 6s, 7x type of hands. This guy donks his board and I'm happy to oblige with a call. Raising or calling is fine on the turn, in my opinion. Just call and river, we're not really folding. Again, close between raising. I think he sometimes shows up with an ace here. That's sometimes with a weaker queen. King 9, just a complete airball. Gonna tag him as more of a spewy type. What do I do? Bet 1, bet 1, bet 1, random bluff. Always good to have a note on these type of guys. Hey, Genghis Yux, how you doing, man? I think it's part of my identity now. That's just who I am now. Alright, what do you guys think of the new layout, by the way? Already asked this before, but we got some other people in here now. So like, we got this one, and let me also show the other one. So we can do this one or this one. There are some little changes we did. I feel like this one, I'm not sure. I feel like both are missing something. Maybe I need to combine them. Some black and some white borders. A multicultural border stream. This guy opens 8.1% of hands. Just gonna call. In the meantime, oh wow. Look at these hands. Just get it in. We check. We're up against tens. Hit a set, so it's over. He could have hit a backdoor straight, but obviously I'm not gonna think too much about that. This guy bets big, so I don't think he's ever bluffing here. If he's never bluffing, should we just start fast playing? I don't know. This guy's just gonna have like aces, ace king, no? I'm not sure in these balls. Like, he looks very tight. He looks like a nitty guy. I'm gonna check jam, I think, against him. If he checks like a king here, I'm so disgusted. Okay, he had tens. He was overvaluing flop. Fine. Probably wouldn't have got anything out of that. But yeah, like on the flop, I'm very confused by his big bet. Like, multi-way, he's like, I need to protect my hand, but tens doesn't make much sense. But okay. Okay. I was confused in those spots against more nitty opponents. Like, what the fuck do they have that they bet big and then check the turn? But I guess it makes sense. What happened here? So he raised, flop and check, check. I think we want to go for very big sizing here. Very big sizing on the turn. He's still gonna have hands like jack X that call, queen stands. Yeah, flush draws himself. Had like ace queen, ace 10. Probably is supposed to call. Maybe he's overfolding those. Well, I know. Hitting a lot of sets. This feels like not the previous stream, but the stream before that. So we know this guy's full of shit. But I don't. Oh, I was supposed to raise. What is this software? Can we now raise to 19? Is that too greedy, chat? Is that too greedy? Am I being greedy? Maybe I'm not being greedy. Am I being greedy? Let's see if he can find the hero call. Nope. I don't know, like on the turn, I don't mind being a bit greedy. I'm not sure on the river if I can be that. I think it's fine. Like, a lot of draws miss, so this type of whaley guy could definitely find some hero calls, I would say, that he's maybe not even supposed to have. So yeah, I don't mind it. Generally, when you're not sure between should I be too greedy or not, just be greedy, chat. It's fine. Ooh. This thing is already annoying me. Teach me how to get full house every hand. So the trick is you need to be streaming. So there's this thing in poker that we call streamer EV, which basically means whenever you're streaming, you just get a lot more luckier. Like, I think last session we lost, but we had like horrible coolers, and in total we lost maybe like a buy-in or not even a buy-in. Which means, hey, even when you're supposed to lose trillions and millions and billions, you still only lose like €5. So It's always streamer luck. All right, let's see. Flop. I think check raising is good here, but against this guy, I don't know. Let's just call, I guess. And I don't think this guy folds much. Oh, we got the nuts now against him. We got the absolute nuts. Look at us having the nuts here with the 3 on the river. Wow. Amazing. I just cooler the fuck out of him. Running hot. Running hot as fuck. By the way, if you're interested, chat, we still have a few spots available for the group coaching with Roofy. So if you think, hey, I've always wanted to have some group coaching or some coaching in general. Let's start with coaching. Like, you're the type of person who's sitting there like, coaching could really help my game, but I don't want to spend 100 euros for one session with a shitty coach that's gonna teach me like a few small things, but I just lost 100 euros, which I could have invested in just, I don't know, a course or just invest in playing more. Or invest in my bankroll so I can play higher stakes. If you're the type of person who's thinking that, well, I got some good news. What if I told you you can get 5 group coaching sessions for only 99 euros? That's not even 100. Pretty good deal, I would say. So if you want to master single race spots, head on over to our Discord and message Roofy. If you want more information, you can find it under announcements on Discord. What are you doing, man? What are you doing? Why you make me fall my flush draw? Unlucky. So yeah, if you're interested in very cheap but very reliable coaching by our own Roofy, the guy's playing 1k NL, 1000 NL, and he's giving group coaching for 100 euros. Like, dude, do I need to say more? Do I need to say more, chat? This is definitely your time to get into some coaching. We are gonna bluff here. Well, we would have bluffed. Well, we're still bluffing. I don't think you have a 10, sir. I don't think you have a 10, sir. I don't think anyone has a 10, so give me the pot. Give it. Don't be scared, chat. Don't think, oh, I can call and split. No, you can raise. You can put more money in. Right here, we're gonna call the min-bet. He checks. Do you see that, chat? This guy always min-bets, and now he's checking. There's the min-bet. There it is. Min-bet me. Do it. I'm a bit suspicious. Let me think about this. So, previously we saw him like min-bet with like a completely random hand. And now he checked flop, min-bet turn, and then pot river. I'm gonna believe him. I'm gonna give it to him. Interesting. Hey, there, well, Trout, how you doing, man? Good to see you here. What's happening with my tables? Give me my table, Jurgen. If you're interested in getting frustrated by tables, !Jurgen in chat, or click the link down below to get 1 month for free. It's also completely free for Microstakes players. Okay. Do I ever want to raise here? Like, if we raise, we need to get it in. Do I want to get it in with ace-8 suited here? Kinda wanna. Am I crazy for wanting to get money in here, chat? Maybe I am. I'm probably an idiot for, like, this guy min 4 bets. Well, it's a very easy game when you just hit the 8 on the flop, chat. I just always think like that. He was full of shit though with his ace-jack offsuit, so you gotta give it to me that I recognized that that guy didn't have aces or kings. But maybe we should have recognized that the guy might have still put the money in with ace-jack offsuit. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, if he has king-queen, ace-jack, is he really folding? Well, against king-queen, we're doing okay. Against ace-jack, ace-queen, ace-10, we're not doing that great, maybe. Maybe we want to have more like a pair to jam there, or like at least ace-jack ourselves, but I'm also gonna just call a lot of like ace-jack suited, ace-10 suited, I think. Okay, so obviously we're gonna hit a straight here. Yeah, F15, how you do, man? Yeah, we're having fun. I don't care that much today. We're being aggressive. I'm teaching you guys how to be overly aggressive, but then get there, which is a very good skill to have in poker. We are gonna bet 75 on the turn. A pretty big scare card for him, right? All right. Taking it down. Here, my general game plan here is to check range, but on the king high board, especially when it's king 3 deuce, I'm gonna still bet quite a bit. All right, so this is a spot where I'm gonna check a lot. I'm gonna check without the backdoor flush draw here with my a7 and then start bluffing turn. He bets pretty quickly. We have a double gut shot and some showdown value. I do think when he bets pretty quickly for this sizing, he probably has something here. So I don't think I'm gonna hero call much versus this guy in this situation on the river. Also, he has like 11% pre-flop raise, so he seems very tight. So yeah, I'm not gonna do anything. And look how he pots the river. I knew he had something. It's a spot people generally overbluff, but that guy, I knew he had it, chat. Just don't ignore timing tells. Pretty important. I'm playing 4 tables at the moment. I can't show you because I'm working a bit on new overlays, by the way. We got the 8. Okay, so last time we had the ace-8 and we got it in versus him. And it was like, yep. I think we actually need to call here. Okay. Because it's the same hand, we're gonna call, but I would have folded if this wasn't on stream, chat. Guess we sometimes win. I'm not calling any bet, and I'm not gonna bluff here into dry side pot. Queens 9. Well, against the 9-4 we were doing pretty well. Against the queens, not that well. Let me actually do the other overlay again. I think I like the other one more. Where is it? I think I like this one a little bit more. It's not a big difference, I guess, and I suppose most people don't care here. I think I like this a little bit more. That looks good. Right, we have some hands. We got jacks here. And we got ace-queen suited here. Yeah, I did the overlays. I should probably have somebody more professional do them. But I kind of enjoy doing these things. It's one of the reasons I started streaming is like, I kind of enjoy doing overlays and doing scenes and shit like that. Okay, so this guy is very nitty. What's his 3-bet stat? 7.6. I guess we call with recreational. The only annoying thing is this guy might sometimes jam, which is not great. Meantime, with the jacks, we went multi-way. This guy donk small, we're gonna be raising. I guess this huge sizing, I'm just folding, I guess. Let me think of, yeah. Pretty tight guy already, and then do we think he's gonna use that sizing with ace-king of hearts or something? Now we get jammed on for a huge sizing after he dunks small. I think I'm just folding here. Yeah, okay, well, the game decided for me. Yeah, I think I would fold it. Even thinking through it, it's like if the board is like a little bit wetter, I would never fold there. But versus such a huge sizings on a relatively dry board, yeah, I'm happy just fold my jacks, whatever. Like I would probably still call queens, definitely kings, aces. But with jacks, it's like, do we really think this guy is just now jamming ace-10 suited? Probably not on this board. We face a pot, and I'm like, okay, dude, okay, you can value tell me. So we got the hand to note hot, yes, and then also, was it Win Today, or I guess iPoker has their own hot. That's probably a little bit too clunky, too much shit on the screen. I think I should just play without these extra hand to note hots and Jurgen. I feel like it just makes the whole stream a bit too clunky. I mean, too much shit on your screen. Here we got a straight open under straight flush draw. And then the super nitty guy 4-bets. Should have just fold. I was already thinking I should maybe fold pre-flop with ace-4 suited, but I just can't. I just can't fold ace-4 suited against the 10% open guy. Goes check, check, check. We are gonna be very polar here on the turn when we bet. I wonder if there's ever a case we want to check raise or check call. I don't think so. I think we just go for the small overbet here. Even will to a, I think it's a spot we just wanna. Like when we have a set, when we have like king queen type of hands here, we want to really put a lot of money in the pot now. And then I think it makes sense to also do this with bluffs. And then the whole table calls us. And the question is, do we think all of these guys can have like ace-5 and jack-10 and ace-jack and ace-10 and flush draws that all missed and maybe we can still bluff? Obviously, again, we don't have a time back, so the... I guess the game decided for us. I'm not gonna call a raise here. But I am interested. I hope we can see something. So we got a king 10 and a queen 9. That's, yeah. I would expect king to always bet flop. A queen I can definitely see there, but alright, it is what it is. Looking for a simple cash game hot, maybe I have to look at. Yeah, hand to note is pretty simple, like the basic one. I'm just sitting out on all tables because I decided to connect these headphones to my phone, so I don't have table sound, so I'm missing almost everything. What actually happened? So we c-bet big on the flop and then kind of gave up, and I'm gonna call versus small sizing, even though I think very often this is like a 3 or 5s or 4s or 7s or whatever. I think when we get such good odds, it's like, yeah, 6 as expected. I don't think I'm gonna fold my best ace-x. Could consider bluffing, but that becomes a little bit player dependent, and I don't think it's a good run out to really bluff. That's why I think overbets are not that effective in microstakes. Well, you could also look at it this way, like when we have the jack-10 of hearts, we're still very often gonna hit a straight or a flush on the river, so we kind of don't mind people calling, right? It's more okay, now on the river we should give up. And then yeah, obviously we can also value bet our strongest value hands. And it's also depending on the situation. Like if we bet small on the flop and then overbet turn, people are overfolding in general, even on micro stakes, even on the lowest stakes. It's more when it goes check, check, check flop and then the overbet comes, it's a little bit different. Yeah, we're checking range here, and then this hand we're gonna be check raising. It's a very tight opponent though, so if he bets big, I'm just calling actually. And now it's a bit, okay, this guy probably has like a lot of ace highs and some pocket pairs. And How do I get value? Probably something like 66, 66. Maybe even a little bit bigger river. And now it's like, okay, 9, 7. It's like, it's not the greatest run out. I don't think he's gonna call ace high often enough. Like 9, 8, 8, 7. I'm gonna do this. Get snapped called by 8, 6. Alright, that's fair. 8, 6. So he looked very nutty, but then he called 8, 6 pre-flop. Now I'm a little bit confused, but okay. And then the instant 3-bet the next hand. I need to keep... Okay. I don't know if I'm gonna keep playing for much longer. Because I am starting to time out on basically every table for every decision. But again, like the overbets, it's very dependent on the spots, on like... On the river, you can definitely overbluff a lot. But most of your sizings on the river achieve overfolds. Very depend on the situation. I don't like the statement of overbets in general don't work as a bluff in microstakes. I completely disagree there. Where I would say it's like, yes, some spots they don't work. Like, let's say some spots the population or certain types of players on these stakes tend to overcall certain spots versus overbets. But it's not like any spot you overbet, they're gonna overcall. Or any type of player on these stakes in any type of spot is gonna overcall versus overbets, because that's just simply not true. Right? We can just look at data for that and see the answers, and you don't see that in the data basically. Now I'm sounding like such a nerd. Well, actually the data, actually... Right. Pretty decent session so far, right? We've been going for almost an hour, so I'm gonna do like a few more hands and then wrap it up. We're running highly above EV, which is nice to see. And we're up today, which is also nice to see. Right, raising. Let's get some money in with the King Jack. Our opponent doesn't oblige. He's out of there. Yeah, probably gonna keep this overlay for now. I think it's pretty decent. The only thing is, do you guys think I should try to use royalty-free or DMCA-free music? Or do you guys think it's fine? Like, personally, when I'm watching a stream, usually I have music on the background myself. I guess we could have squeezed here. Because it's close. Usually I just have music on the background myself. So I don't care if the streamer has music on or not. I kind of prefer actually without music because of that reason. I can just listen to my own music. But for some people, it's like, I like to have a little bit of vibes going on when I'm watching a stream. So, get on a min raise and expect people to overfold here in general. What do you think about this? A button versus big blind overbotting flops. Does it overperform or underperform? Underperform in general. From my understanding, from looking at the spots more, yeah. It's generally underperforming in my opinion. But then, like, the thing is, when you overbet flop, let's say a typical example, ace king 3 or something, button versus big blind, you overbet flop. People are supposed to start folding king x, in theory. In practice, people will call those hands too much. But the thing is then, when you barrel turn, now their range is gonna have so many king x and weak ace x, and still maybe even some pocket pairs, and they're gonna start folding almost all of those. So you're kind of making more money by overbetting as a bluff on the flop, because now you just get the barrel turn for, again, an overbet, and suddenly now they overfold because they overcalled massively on the flop. So you kind of make even more money by overbetting flop because you get to do it again on the turn and make so much money, right? So you kind of can't look at it in a vacuum. Like even if people overcall flop, well, hey, that's good if we're actually continuing turn. If we're actually brave enough to continue or gutshot bluff on the turn, or I don't know. What else are we bluffing there? Or like our pocket pair, low pocket pair. If we're continuing bluffing turn, we're now making a lot more money than we should, right? You just lie to yourself. Oh, I do that all the time. Don't worry. Yeah, okay, yeah. God damn it. Chat, you're being annoying today. Yes, technically you're right. I mean, it underperforms as in people overcall. So in a vacuum on the flop, it underperforms. But then later on, it overperforms. So yeah, okay. If you want to look at it that way, and you probably should look at it that way. All right, check raising here against, well, is a maniac according to my tags, which generally is not a great idea to bluff against these guys. But yeah. Yes, you well, I guess you underperform if you let's have a look. Did this guy do anything weird before? No, so we're just folding. Yeah, if this guy just lost a big hand, or if this guy already jammed a few times pre-flop, then I would have called here with the ace-jack. But this being the first time he's doing this, makes me still fold here with ace-jack suited. Underperform if you overbet flop and then miss second barrel. Yes, basically. And you could also say it underperforms for your value. Well, no, it kind of overperformed because you do get value on the flop. Yeah, no, it doesn't underperform for value. All right, here some, come on, what? Okay, we only had fours, fine. Here, similar as before, I'm checking range, single raise spots out of position unless it's like a very good board for us, which this board is. And then it's such a nice turn to barrel. Very easy barrel. Let's go 13 big blinds, which is 76%. Looks good. He has a lot of pocket pairs and ace highs there. Obviously a good spot to bluff. Ace king jack versus the maniac. We're gonna bet small. Hope he doesn't want to raise now. He snap calls us. I do not like against these players type to over bluff turns and rivers, even though it's like, oh, we block the nuts and we have a gut shot, so it's a good spot to do this. I think these type of players overvalue their hands way too much on these 3 Broadway boards, so I tend to underbluff 3 Broadway boards in general. Depends still a bit on the action. I like here, like, does this guy fold a jack or a king? I'm not sure if he does that enough. And we both have a 10, so we split it, that's fine. You have any advice on building your own ranges? A good question. Yeah, Aquilab. Do it the old school way, or like there's 2 things you can do. You can look at solver outputs and then manipulate like node lock. I think I'm gonna give up here against these 2 shorter stacked. I keep timing out, for fuck's sake. Nice turn, we're gonna go very small bet. So there's 2, you can use like a solver and node lock and then use those results like, hey, what if I think my opponents overfold here? What if I think they overcall? You node lock that in the sim and then you see, oh, actually now I can do this, and you can build your strategy around that. Or you just open Aquilab and basically you try to focus mainly on your opponent's ranges, right? Or let's do another thing. Let's say, look at the solver, look at what your opponent's supposed to do, and then try to think, okay, what do I think my opponent would do and how would that affect my strategy? And it's very simple. Like the moment your opponent underbluffs, you start overcalling. The moment you think your opponent is overfolding, well, yeah, you just bluff everything. And there's not much range construction going on. It's more, hey, because we think our opponent's range is flawed, because we think our opponent's range has leaks, we now get to put so many hands into our bluffing bucket, put so many hands into our hero calling bucket, if that makes sense. Ah, you mean pre-flop ranges? Like, what kind of advice are you looking for? Do you mean like just a good way to visualize everything, or a good way to see, okay, like which hands are better or worse? Like, for example, something I advise you to do is like when you start off with like a GTO range, try to figure out why is a certain hand 3-betting, why is a certain hand opening, why is a certain hand folding, what are the reasons this hand folds, calls, 3-bets, whatever, right? And then based on that, you can start thinking, well, if this hand is, let's say, we're opening this just purely for fold equity and a little bit of playability post-flop, and we're not making a lot of money in theory, and now we're playing against a guy who we think overcalls, well, yeah, our fold equity EV goes a lot down, right? So maybe we don't want to have a hand like that. Maybe we prefer a hand that's like, let's say 7-6 suited. A hand like 7-6 suited suffers from our opponent 3-betting us a lot, right? And then with 7-6, you can't just get 3-bet a lot because you don't have blockers to their 3-bets. You have good playability, but you just don't get to see a flop very often in theory, right? But now if your opponents don't 3-bet enough, oh, now you can open this hand, right? So, don't like having a heart here, but I think I'm calling this. Not super thrilled here. This is kind of like, whatever. Yeah, we're gonna see some king X, even some ace X, and it's fine. How much you should call versus 3-bets? Yeah. In general, like the way I do it personally is I think it's good to just study pre-flop ranges, right? As I said, try to add things on top, like, okay, try to understand why we're opening. Like 7-6, why is this not an open? Because it just doesn't have the best playability, it doesn't have blockers to 3-bets and stuff, it's kind of shitty hand. But once your opponents don't 3-bet enough, right? Now you get to open this hand, see a lot of flops, and then post-flop, you're like, okay, I'm gonna bet a lot flop, and then bet a lot turn, and give up a lot river. So now this hand starts making money, right? If you have a very aggressive opponent in the small blind or the big blind, you don't want to open that hand, obviously, because now you're losing too much money when you get 3-bet. Right? Or queen 10, this is probably in theory not an open, but hey, again, like if this guy doesn't 4-bet enough, okay, this would be a mistake because he's actually a bit tight, so I kind of shouldn't 3-bet this hand. But I always start with like a baseline GTO range and then start adapting based on what I think of my opponents, right? Like here, ace-3, I'm gonna think this guy is gonna have so many pocket pairs, but on this board I'm still gonna check and then barrel a lot on the turn, because I think he just has so many pocket pairs, and then if he had something else, we would have heard about it on the flop. Now, because he checks turn, I'm just gonna say, okay, this guy has 3s to 8s all the time, some ace highs, so I'm gonna bet flop, bet turn, and I don't care much. Actually, I'm gonna bet... Oh no, I'm just trying to get him to fold a pocket pair at this point. And then if he does have a king here, good for him. I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah, for me, my basic ranges are always just GTO ranges. I start with GTO ranges and deviate from them. So let's say versus 3-bets, I'm just gonna think, like, most of your opponents are not 3-betting enough. So my deviation I'm gonna make there is, okay, bottom of my range. Like, bottom of your range are your 4-bet bluffs. I'm gonna fold those, and then like your calling range, that's like the middle of your range, now becomes bottom of your range, and that's gonna start becoming my 4-bet bluffs, basically. So I'm just gonna start folding a lot and reconstructing my range in the terms of, okay, maybe do I need 4-bet bluffs against this guy? If I don't, I just throw away my 4-bet bluffs, right? And then maybe still have a few calls, and just top of my range as 5-bets, as 4-bets, sorry, for value. It's such a complicated subject, honestly. I can talk about this forever, to be honest. I want to pull up some ranges, but I'm not gonna because I'm playing, obviously. But I guess, like, yeah, the easiest advice I can give you, we're gonna overbluff this turn on river, is try to understand why are certain hands a 4-bet bluff, why are certain hands a call, right? For example, something you can do is, let's say ace-jack suited is a call, right? Something you can do is open Equilab, put that exact hand in Equilab versus a GTO 3-betting range. See what your equity is, right? You're gonna see, yeah, this hand has maybe like 37, 38, 40% equity. Okay, it's a good enough hand to call versus a 3-bet. Now, change that 3-bet range to something you think a net would 3-bet. So you change the 3-bet range from your opponent to a much tighter range. Now look at ace-jack suited, how much equity do you have? And you're gonna see, oh, now we suddenly only have 30% equity. Yeah, that's kind of not good enough to continue versus 3-bets. So we should probably or 4-bet bluff this or fold this. When we're 4-bet bluffing, we need to have fold equity. So we should think, oh, do we want to have this hand as a 4-bet bluff? Do we think our opponent that's already 3-betting too tight is going to fold enough versus 4-bet? I guess you could say, is he going to have 5-bet bluffs? Is he going to jam enough hands, fold too many hands, right? And then we can decide, maybe we turn this hand to do bluff ace-jack suited, or maybe we just fold it because it's too weak. Compare hand equity versus pot odds of calling 3-bets. It's not that simple because obviously you also have implied odds, reverse implied odds. Equity realization is a huge one, right? Like, let's say ace-jack offsuit, it's very tough to realize your equity versus population. So it's not a great hand, but in terms of equity, you're not going to see a big difference between ace-jack suited and ace-queen suited when you put an Equilab. That's more, okay, we also need to kind of add equity realization, which is tough to calculate. I think in the solver and GTO wizard, I think you can see equity realization, but it's kind of villain dependent also. I'm actually gonna jam this. Do you think this guy's gonna bluff enough? No, so we jam against the queen. Snap call the 9-8, unlucky. But actually, let me close my tables and let me just show you something quickly. Because I feel like this is a lot easier to answer with... I think this is a lot easier to answer with actually having some ranges in front of you. Okay, bye-bye. After that little value on the river, we're not up as much as we wanted to, but we're still up today, so we're not going to be complaining. And yeah, I mentioned this a lot, I think, previously, but whenever I'm playing, every pre-flop decision, I'm still thinking, who's opening, who's behind me? If I get 3-bet, what are his 3-bet stats? Do we think this guy is going to be sticky against 4-bets? Do we think this guy is going to overfold versus 4-bets, right? Some of those answers you can find by experience. Some of those answers you can find from analyzing data from the population. some of those things are like villain type dependent. Like obviously a whale is gonna react differently than a nit. And you just add all those things and try to come to the best decision in the moment, right? Just as with any post-flop decision. But yeah, we're closing the tables. A few more hands and we're done. I think this is, yeah, this is the last table now. Then I'll share the results and then I'll try to quickly answer FF15's question. Isolate this guy. Okay. Like here, I'm gonna think, can I open this hand? So this guy 3-bets aggressively, which is bad for me. This guy's probably calling too much. This guy's probably overfolding, not 3-betting enough. So this would have been close with ace-8. Well, I think in theory, this is like ace-9 and ace-5 offsuit we're opening. Ace-8 would generally be a fold. But again, like once you see like small things that improve the EV of a hand like this, you can start opening this. And again, people not 3-betting you, people overfolding big blind, those type of things are gonna make you more money than you should in theory, than you would in theory, right? And then obviously it doesn't go as extreme like King 7 offsuit. Yeah, that's just way below what we're supposed to open. That it's not gonna be great. Let me close this up. Open up a range. Or last hand. Let's start with sharing the results. See, we had a winning day today, which is nice, even though our EV is like... Our EV is like, we should have been slightly above break even. Where is it? God damn it. God damn it, Windows. Stop trying to make me do something I don't want to do. I'm really bad at this. Really bad at streaming. God damn it, Windows. Okay, there we go. Should make this a little bit bigger. I guess this should show the results well enough. So made almost a buy-in today, which goes straight to the bankroll, which is nice. Brings the total bankroll on, what was it? We were at 89. So we are now at 93 euros. So still have a long way to go to 10 NL, which is fine. We started with 50 NL. We almost doubled that, which is pretty nice. And let me quickly answer this last question. I guess I could have done this full screen. I guess this is a little bit better. And yeah, again, it's quite a broad subject. Last time I looked at the 20 big blind jams in theory, which is pretty interesting. But yeah, let's say we're cut off versus bottom. Right, like you always want to look at your range. Okay, so we got these hands that are good enough to call, right? These are basically these three, and like just construct your range around all these hands. These are the hands we're always 4-betting for value, basically, right? I guess ace queen, you could argue, is not really for value. Yeah, it's not for value. Wait, how do I undo? Okay, wait. Okay, let's go back. So we got top of range, jacks plus, ace king. These hands we want to 4-bet for value, right? Then we got the hands that can call profitably. Ace queen, ace jack, king queen. That's always the base we want to start with. And then everything that's just not good enough, I take these as like 4-bet bluffs, even though some of these are still calls, still perform okay as a call. I'm gonna look at these like, okay, some of these hands can call. Why do these hands call? Board coverage and yeah, board coverage mainly, I would say. And they perform okay equity-wise versus our opponent. But let's say the moment our opponent doesn't 3-bet enough, you could argue that you kind of don't have to continue these hands anymore. I recommend still doing so because they have great playability versus overpairs, but you don't really have to. What I mainly look at is like these offsuit broadways and these suited broadways. Like, let's say if my opponent doesn't 3-bet enough, what I'm generally gonna do is I'm just gonna only call ace-queen now. King-queen suited, king-jack suited, ace-10 suited become, together with ace-jack suited, all become my 4-bet bluffs, right? So I'm gonna remove the weakest 4-bet bluffs. I'm gonna have like stronger 4-bet bluffs, right? Because these hands are not strong enough to call anymore, in my opinion. King-queen suited, ace-jack suited, king-jack suited, ace-10 suited, but they still have decent playability as a 4-bet bluff. Ace-queen suited is gonna be also a hand I'm gonna 4-bet bluff, but I'm not gonna 4-bet bluff these. And then yeah, like jacks doesn't become a 4-bet value hand anymore because they're too tight. So that I'm gonna do like aces, kings, ace, king, queens. So like better top of range. And then jacks also becomes a call for me. So maybe like jack stands I'm calling, ace, queen suited I'm calling. And then king, queen suited we turn into bluff ace, jack. And that's basically how this range gets constructed, right? You start with top of range, you wanna 4-bet for value. These hands you wanna call because they're strong enough to call. And then hands weaker can sometimes call and can be used also as 4-bet bluffs. We just lower this range. We make it tighter when he's tighter. We can still have calls. We can still have 4-bet bluffs. We can still have 4-bet value. But we make everything tighter, basically. Hey, Monkey May, how you doing, man? Is there any ratio of combos? The calls mainly get decided by equity. The 4-bet for value mainly get decided by your equity again. The other combos, yeah, is more to balance out and board coverage, and then equity realization starts being important. And those things, again, are a lot tougher to easily quantify, right? I'm sure solvers these days can do that. This always looks like a dick to me. I don't know if that's something I need to talk about in therapy or something. I don't know. And then, yeah, usually the bluff to value combo needs to be balanced in theory, but in practice, what happens a lot in practice is, do I think this guy over calls versus 4-bets or over folds versus 4-bets, right? And then if he over calls versus 4-bets, I'm maybe gonna be very tight with 4-bet bluffs and actually not have too many. Maybe even not have a 4-bet bluffing range anymore at all. And if I think he's gonna overfold versus 4-bets, well, now we go crazy. Now, even if he's tighter in his 3-betting, well, yeah, I'm just gonna start going crazy, but gonna try to find any possible 4-bet bluff because he's overfolding, so we're auto-profiting, right? In theory, you should be balanced. In practice, there's almost no situation, unless you're up against a good opponent, where you should be balanced. So don't worry about balancing out your range in game, right? Just think, if I'm over bluffing here, is that fine against this opponent? If I'm under bluffing here, is that fine versus this opponent? Which of those twos do you want against this specific opponent in this specific situation? And if you say, oh, but I have no clue who my opponent is, well, then just think, how do you think population plays, right? And generally against population, you can 4-bet bluff quite heavily. And then versus recreationals, you want to under bluff heavily with your 4-bets. All right, that's gonna be it. I'm already in overtime. If you have more questions, maybe keep it for the study stream. I feel like I could have explained some things better, but it is what it is. All right, thanks everyone for joining. Hope you had a good time. Again, we still have spots for the group coaching, ! group coaching, if you're interested in that. Gonna see if we have anyone we can rate today. And then let's go make some dinner. All right, let's go study with Hey Monia. Feel free to ask her the same question. And have a good one, everyone. It was good to see you guys. I'll be back whenever I'm back. Bye-bye.